Okay, so I am not gonna try to improve my appearance at all because I want to represent exactly what happened so everyone can laugh, because this is what happened. So, in my efforts to convince myself and my husband that we could afford this trip and we could afford it now, I was able to use the Sky Miles ticket that I had a hard time using before. And the reason I had a hard time using it before is the same reason I have a hard time using it now. Because initially we had Sky Miles round trip tickets with flights out of Ghana at 10:15 p.m. But between February and July, when we went home, Delta changed their flight patterns. Actually, between February and May. And they no longer had a Sky Miles flight at 11 o'clock. They have KLM flights, which is a different airline. Sky Miles and Delta doesn't work for KLM. So we had to pay for the tickets out, and then we had to bank the Sky Miles, and they would have expired because it was a partially funded Sky Miles ticket unless I used them by February 9th. So I used them for this trip. So my initial plan was that I would do this. I'd fly Kenya Air, because you can't, even if I flew A Sky, I couldn't be here by 9:15 in the morning. So I flew Kenya Airway. By the way, Kenya Airway I prefer over A Sky. They were a little slow to leave, but they were super great. We got here pretty much on time, and the staff was amazing. The plane was a little bit late getting to the gate, but then everything moved great. So I really liked them. They were very nice. Both times that I flew Kenya Air, they upgraded me to a leg room without charging me extra, like an emergency exit. So they're good. Check in my book. The other problem, so I knew that the Sky Miles ticket had to be here at 9:15 a.m. So my initial plan was I'm going to use my conversational skills to try to stay in the lounge, because they let me stay in the lounge during the day before for 12 hours. So I was like, maybe they'll just let me sleep there. Turns out not so much. It's easy to sneak somebody up there during the day, but not at night, because they're not really open. So I would just be loitering around the gates without a boarding pass, because I can't get my boarding pass until 3 hours prior to departure, which is 6:15 a.m. and there's no one here. So I tried to, then I got an email from Delta. So I was thinking about all this on the way to Ghana. I slept terribly last night. I just couldn't, it's hard to sleep on the day that you leave, and it's just a lot of emotion leaving our kids. So I probably slept 3 hours. I didn't even try to take a nap. I got all packed up and I was ready to go by like 11:30, and then Nelson texted and said when he would arrive, and I told him I really didn't care when he came. So he was like, oh, I think 1:30. I was like, cool, I'll take a nap. But I couldn't go to sleep because the Tropicana staff thought one lady thought I was already gone because she saw me set on my bill, and then another one had a question for me, and so they didn't realize I was trying to sleep, so it didn't matter. I mean, I love the Tropicana staff, they're fantastic, but I just laid down, so I was really still tired, as I am now, because I'm just kind of talking in a circle. And I mean, I just want you guys to know I'm wearing this t-shirt. This is really the only t-shirt I brought, and I had to be really disciplined about my clothing because I wanted to bring hair beads and toys and presents and shoes and all kinds of things. And I really thought those things were more important, and they are more important. So this is a t-shirt that I have worn a little bit, but I've mostly wore it today. I had a change of clothes. I plan on changing in the Ghana airport. But I mean, I have been I hung out with Nelson today at Hobie. That video is to come. I have to edit it for the tour of Hobie. But I was playing, like, his kids were there. Pauline was there. I hung out with them for a couple hours. I had a good time. I got a tour of their property. But I was sweaty. And in the Liberia airport, the air conditioner was not working. So I'm not a sweaty girl. Really, I'm not like an excessive sweater, but I was dripping. So feeling pretty stinky. I'm glad I got my extra change of clothes, and I ended up having, here's the other thing. So I am usually very disciplined about not traveling with less than $100 cash. Usually it's $200. I always have $200 cash. On a Tuesday, on a normal day, I can probably find $200 cash. My cash went to a very good decision right before I left. A business thing that is yet to come. I may even get into it later tonight with another video, but this one I'm going to post because I posted the other one. And I just want you guys to know that I do not at all regret that spending that last $100 because it was an investment and I'm excited. However, it was invested into someone else's future and I'm excited to be a part of it. However, I could have just had Nelson take me to the ATM before I left Liberia. So I'm traveling with $100. So no, you know what I ended up having to do? I ended up having to go to the Ghana ATM and hope to Jesus in heaven that I could remember a PIN number, because my normal check card expired December 2024. And I know that they mailed it to our house, but like, I don't use it. I use our other credit card so that I can get Sky Miles and points for things. So I never use my actual First Horizon card. But I had another, so I have another card with Jeremy's name on it that goes to my Noonday account that I was fairly confident on the PIN number, but not 100%. And let me just tell you, ATMs do not love it when you put in the wrong PIN number 3 times. They're like, so, and I'm going to try more than twice. So I did actually remember the PIN number was the right one, because I've kind of gotten on to Jeremy. And right now, if you asked me, if you told me, Rachel, I'll give you $500 cash right now if you can tell me what the PIN number was that you used for that First Horizon card that worked. And I would say, I have no idea, because I am so tired. I'm in a foreign land. So I had to go. So here's what I did. So I get off the plane. I'm trying to like use my conversational skills to just get on the KLM flight. They're a Delta partner. They're leaving in an hour. And I think I'm going to talk these jokers and let me on that plane in an hour. There's nobody that can do this business deal for me. Delta sent me an email and said that Atlanta is having a snowstorm, and so I might get delayed. And so they gave me the option to change my ticket for free. But their app does not work in Liberia, really. And I'm out of Liberia. I'm in Ghana now, and I can't use my Liberia phone to hotspot. So there's a whole problem. So go to the ATM to get the money for the visa, 48-hour visa, which is $65. But I'm trying to do the math and the exchange rate, and I'm literally just asking this random security guard. I'm like, "What's the exchange rate here?" And he's like, "It's 15 or 16." I'm like, "Could we be? I mean, 16 it is." And then I'm like, "How much is?" So I'm like literally pulling out my phone with my luggage around me, my passport stuck in my like top of my sports bra, asking this guy, "What's your exchange rate in this country?" I've never even touched Ghana money. All right. So I'm like trying to figure out, now that I got well, you don't know for sure if you did the PIN number right till you put the amount in. So I was like, it's like 1,000, 2,000. Their exchange rate is 15. So I'm like, well, if I get 1,000, what is that? How much dollars is that in US money? We still don't know exactly. I'm just going to look it up. So oh, that's a lot of money. So it was around $100 that I got out in Ghana money, US dollars. And so 65 I spent, and then the other 35-ish I spent getting here. And then my taxi cab driver. So I'm left with, so this is now I have used this phrase several times when people are like, "You're scared to travel by yourself." I was like, I can $20 my way through a lot of things. This is what I can do. I can $20 my way through a lot of things. You know what I did not do? Well, I didn't $20. This hotel room is like not $20. So I have $30. And I'm on the other side of the world. And I have visas that I don't know the PIN numbers for. I did know the PIN number for one, but I'm still not certain that I could repeat it. So thank you, Jesus. Now, the one thing I will say about Ghana Airport is this is I've been through the Ghana Airport. This is actually my 6th time, because I go, come. This airport has the nicest people ever. And when I went to hand the immigration people or the staff that were helping me with the visa and the passport and all of those things, when I went to, I just gave them Ghana money. Like, I gave them, let's see what I gave them. Because you can't tell the ATM to give you small bills. So, it was like $3 or $4. But $65 for my thing. And then like $3 or $4 each for them for helping me. So then I get to the last security guy. And I'm like, he's like, "Where are you staying?" And he really wants to know. And I'm like, well, I thought I was going to sleep here, but it looks like I'm going to go to a hotel. But the uncertainty in my voice, his face went like this. You gotta have solid plans. You're not a citizen here, basically, is what his eyebrows told me. I was like, oh, so then, of course, I'm like, we're adopting 3 kids from Liberia. I come through here some. This is my 6th time through, but I messed up my flights. And to be fair, I did mess up my flights. I always knew that this was going to be a problem. And I was hoping for a $20 favor to the lounge, is what I was hoping for. But that is an impossibility. If you don't have a boarding pass, you cannot go to the lounge. You cannot, unless there's someone that works for your airline, like a Delta person there, that can do it. And there's not at this hour, because there's not a Delta flight tonight. It's KLM flight that's partner for Delta. So I digress. So they're telling me no. So just so you know, I always knew this would be a problem, and I knew that my backup plan was a very expensive Marriott that's 0.4 miles away that has free breakfast and a free shuttle in the morning to the airport. Ghana people are so nice. But I'm literally talking to this like immigration guy I'm leaving, and I'm like telling him, I'm just gonna stay at the Marriott. I'll be back tomorrow. My flight's at 9:15. And I'm like, and I just stop and I look out, and there's all these crowds right behind these glass doors to leave the Ghana airport. And I'm like, I'm scared a little. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am not a fearful person. Apprehension, yes. Uncertainty, little judgment, absolutely. But not fear. I'm just not a fear person. I don't even remember being fearful when I was in like labor without drugs. Like, I remember being unfortunately regretful for a minute, but I don't remember fear. And I've been in other countries, but not alone. I don't walk around the streets of a random country in Africa that I've never been to, that I have no friends. So I walk out, this nice guy, this taxi cab driver, I'm putting his video on next. Let's put it in. Is this Foster?
Yes.
I am not in danger. Yes. He's got an ID card.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I messed up my flights. Well, I didn't mess them up, but I made a bad decision. And I was going to try to stay at the airport, but I decided I need to sleep. So Foster, nice Foster, is taking me to the Marriott.
Yes, please.
And it's going to be expensive, but I know that it will be safe, and I will be okay. And tomorrow, the Marriott will take me to the airport.
The airport, yes.
They have a
Marriott
shuttle.
is not fine, just fine. Yes, yes.
They have a shuttle to the airport.
Yeah, they have shuttle to the airport.
Okay.
Just that is expensive.
This is my first time in Ghana. I made it. I'm outside in Ghana.
You made it.
Woo! All right. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so that was Foster. I did get his WhatsApp number. He was like, if you're ever in Ghana again, you can call me. Or if you walk into the Marriott and they don't have a room for you, I will take you to another hotel. But I'm thinking, how am I going to pay you, bro? I already gave you $20. Like, is it going to be free? I gave you $20 for 0.4 miles. But he was super nice. And honestly, I was just glad that he had an ID badge, and he showed it to me twice. So he wanted me to know he was official. And it was just he was very nice. And he's like, sometimes they're booked up. And I'm like, I'm a Marriott Rewards member. Hopefully they're saying me. And they did. But when I got to the counter, I'm all bedraggled. And I'm like, hi, I need a room for the night. And I mean, guys, I'm in my dirty t-shirt. My face is a wreck. My hair is going all which way. I did take my hat off and tried to smooth out my hair before I started talking to immigration. I don't think it helped. Maybe I should have left the hat on. But the first thing she said was no. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm a Marriott Rewards member. I'm a Marriott Rewards member, Bonvoy points for like the last 20 years. I have these kids I'm adopting in Liberia, and I kind of got stuck here accidentally overnight. And the reason I keep telling people I got stuck here accidentally is because I did not get stuck here accidentally. But I made a judgment call that I'm not mad at myself for the judgment call to take this flight pattern, because I got to use those Sky Miles. Are going to expire, and I'm not flushing that money down the drain. So an extra hotel room, even a nice one, they give me a nice breakfast and they're nice to me and I'm safe, is worth it. It's better than the airport would have been better. What would have been better is the earlier flight, because when what would have been better is if Delta hadn't changed the flight patterns in since February. So that was my biggest problem, Delta's flight patterns, and I can't really blame that. What I wish I would have done in hindsight is I wish I would have planned on just biting the bullet, not trying to like have a free hotel night in the airport, which, let's face it, it's not the best idea. Ghana airport's really nice, their staff's really nice, but it's not the best idea. What I wish I would have done is just plan on flying in on Kenya Air, planned on coming here, so I could have ridden the airport shuttle. I wouldn't have needed a taxi. planned on staying here. It just planned on it because it would have been part of my itinerary, and I wouldn't have had to go to an ATM. I wouldn't have had all these things. I would have been prepared to work the plan. But it's like I wasn't willing to accept the plan because that would change the overall cost of the trip. And there's Rachel math that's convincing, and then there's Rachel math reality, and then there's Rachel math when it was better than expected, and I'm like, see? So these are the Rachel math problems. So I wish I would have just faced it, planned for it, and done it that way instead of using it as my backup plan. But I gotta say, and I didn't think I could take a picture with the immigration guy or the security guard that's looking at me like, what do you mean you plan on staying here? Like, just because I want them all over. They all smiled and laughed at me. And keep in mind, it's not just everything that I just told you. But this is my suitcase that I refused to check, even though in Liberia it was over the weight limit for carry-on for Kenya Air. I used my, as Nelson would say, I'm going to use wisdom to talk to that person. I used wisdom to talk to them. It was very nice. But this is my kids decorated this with stickers, and I love it. And I'm really glad that I needed to bring it home because I'm bringing some stuff back to the States for friends. But I will say that I keep leaving pieces of these wheels. You guys see the pieces of the wheels? There they are. One of the wheels is almost done. He's almost done. He's not going to make it. See? He's here. That one's... I'm asking too much of the donated suitcase. But the funniest part was when the last security guard and I walk out, and I'm like, there's so many people. He's like, they're just here greeting guests. Just keep walking straight. Pretend like, I was like, it's like I'm walking a runway. He's like, I was like, I'm not walking a plank, am I? And he laughed and he said, no, consider it the red carpet and own it. And I was like, all right, bro. I'm going to consider this a red carpet and own it. And sure enough, this nice Foster, you saw him. Foster was there waiting, and it was fine. And Foster had a good night, and everything was good. And now it's 10:30. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will be able to sleep for probably 7 hours. I got to get up for breakfast, and I got to get my shuttle. And my breakfast is included. I'm going to order some room service here in a minute. I'm going to take a shower. My room is really nice. I have a king bed. And when I first got here, so in their rush to try to get me in a room, once my friend Na at the Marriott, she was so nice. She was trying to find me a room. Well, apparently there was a typographical error, and the room that they sent me to wasn't 100% ready. It was mostly ready, but it wasn't 100% ready. But you would have thought that they sent me to a room that had a tiger in it. They were so embarrassed. And I was like, guys, I'm just glad you're taking me in. Like, I'm like, where was I going to go? I don't know any more name brands around here. So, that's what happened. Bye.